Hello, Pina, and good morning. This is your machine, the Breville Oracle. Pina is one of my customers. She's brought in her machine for a tune-up and a service. The machine is actually 7 years old, made in 2018. But unfortunately, Pina hasn't been using it a lot. She has been struggling with making good coffee out of it. So the unit is actually in excellent condition on the outside, and I've opened up on the inside. It's in good condition as well. It will need a minor maintenance service, nothing too drastic. So yeah, it only made about 1,000 coffees in the last 7 years. So if you do the maths, that's a coffee every few days. In this video, I'll be making my morning latte on it. I'll be setting up with my beans, the Aldi dark beans, which I actually recommend to Pina because most supermarket beans, they're not great. Most supermarket beans are stale, they are too runny, they don't give good flavors or good crema. I have a bag of the Aldi dark beans. They're called the Lazio. It's a black packet with white sides. There's also the white packet, which is the medium. If you drink more black coffees, it's good. The dark is good if you drink more milk-based drinks as well. Not a sponsor. In this video, I'll be using this bean to test the grinder. I'll be also brewing, obviously. I'll be using the automatic frother and just overall testing for any issues in this machine on top of the maintenance service that I'll be doing. The first issue that was pointed out to me was that the handle was too hard to lock in. So the grinder would give too much coffee and it would be a struggle to lock the handle into the group head. Now I had a look and the tamper was very low. So the tamper has obviously the tamping fan, which spins around and presses the coffee into the handle, but also there's this magnet and screw. So this screw screws into the machine, but also there's a screw inside here where the dose can be controlled. This was all the way up, so this is all the way to the maximum dose setting. So the machine was just giving way too much coffee and you can't even press the handle into the group head. So I've reduced that, I've tightened it back to the normal position, what looks like the normal position to me at least. And we'll also be calibrating it with the razor tool, which is a Breville tool that included with other machines. Yeah, let's just put it back in place and test the grinding. Now, I've never made a coffee with this exact unit. I've made coffees with tens of oracles, but not this exact unit. So we'll be finding out the correct grind size together. I like to begin at 25, which is the middle. It's around the middle, so it goes up to 45. So I like to put it between 1 to 45, roughly 25, let's say. I'll be making a single shot, so just because I don't like to drink too much caffeine, and also because the customer prefers single shots most of the time, so I'll be using this single shot to titrate the whole thing. Now, it's good to know that with a double shot, the settings might need to change a little bit more, just because the physics change when you're pressing a larger quantity of coffee into a straight pathway versus a smaller quantity of coffee with a curved pathway. So I think with a smaller smaller basket, you'll need to reduce the grind size. So then if you use that smaller grind size with a larger basket, double shot, you might struggle and get very slow coffee. So I'll just let the customer know from now and even on handover that these settings will apply to the single basket, and if you need to do with the double basket, you'll need to play with the settings a little bit. Alrighty, where's my scale? I'm gonna get my scale so we can measure the dose going in and dose going out. Okay, so putting the scale on 0 and then starting the grind. Get rid of the first few seconds. Sounds a bit strange. Let me have a look. Oh yeah, I've just had a look. The burrs were a bit dirty. So the top burr especially had a bit of build-up. I'll include the photos of very fine old coffee, perhaps. So it wasn't even letting the beans channel into the burrs. So I've cleaned those it's back to normal. Yeah, so what I like to do is I like to purge the grinding chute and the grinding pathways. So for about 3 seconds, I'm going to grind and then get rid of that dose. I like to do this after changing the grind size, changing the beans, or even after a long period of time of not making coffee. It's good to purge just to freshen things up and get rid of the old coffee inside the machine. I know it sounds a bit wasteful, but trust me, wasting a little, like 2 or 3 seconds of coffee is better than wasting an entire shot because the settings were wrong. The grind size looks okay, maybe a bit on the fine side. May block the machine, but like may be too small and give us a slow brew. But let's have a look. I mean, the only way to be very sure is to make a coffee. So speculating just by looks is not going to help us. Turn the scale on again, and then let's grind. Again, it's the grind size 25 and the single shot. That was a good speed. I mean, in only 8 or 10 seconds, it gave us a full dose. This is what it gave us. A little bit of loose coffee here and there. That's normal. You can get rid of that by flipping it upside down onto the bin. Maybe it doesn't work with a single shot. I had the entire puck fall into my hands. That's pretty funny. Let's do that again without doing the flipping upside down. Usually it works with a double shot, but I guess not with a single shot. Okay, I'm not going to flip it upside down. Basically, if you've got loose coffee around the edges, good to wipe those off so they don't build up inside the group head itself. You can have a look. It's very nice and smooth, very well polished. So the tamper is working fine. It's 9.9 grams, basically 10 grams. This is the normal dose that I would expect. Even on my personal machine here on the left, which I've forgotten to clean, my personal machine on the left is the Oracle Jet. Actually has the exact same tamper. And I think a similar grinding motor to your Oracle. When I'm using the single shot, I also get about 10 grams. I use the single shot most of the time as well. Let's test it with the calibration tool, the razor, and it looks like it's about the right dose, maybe a little bit under, but honestly, just to be safe, I'll leave it there so you don't have troubles in the future. I'll leave it there at this dose, so this can probably go up by a tiny bit. I can see on the razor tool there's a little bit of a gap. I can even take a photo on the other phone and then send it to you. But yeah, it's super non-significant, and you can still make good coffee. And I will take a quick shot of this, maybe from this angle, and show you the difference. Previously, obviously, it would overfill the basket. It would overfill the basket previously with the screw very high to the max, but now it's the proper depth. Enough of that. Let's lock it in. I forgot to tell you my ritual for making a coffee. So generally, I like to begin with a blank shot. So I'll just demonstrate what a blank shot is. And please do this before you grind the coffee. Get your empty basket. You get your cup, and you lock it in. Press the single, and then let it run for 15 seconds, just to fill the water, to fill the cup with hot water. It fills the cup with hot water, it warms up the handle itself, and it warms up the group head. And also if there's any loose coffee, any oils stuck in the basket or even the group head, this acts like a bit of a mini cleaning cycle. It'll flush a lot of the dirt away with this method. And then when you've got the hot cup, you've got the hot portafilter, you would dry it up, very important, dry it up with a piece of tissue or a towel, and then start grinding after that. You don't want to use a wet portafilter to grind. So this is it. It's a little bit warm actually from being inside the machine anyway, but ideally you would want to warm it up by running the blank shot as well. Cool, that's 10 grams of coffee. In the coffee world, we like to use a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning for every gram you grind, you want 2 grams out into the cup. So we've put 10 grams in the basket for the single shot. We want about 20 grams out into the cup for a perfect recipe. If that extends to 30 grams instead of 20 grams, that's fine as well. It's all based on preference and what how you like your coffee to taste. And importantly, that extraction, that 20 gram to 30 gram extraction should take around 25 seconds or 30 seconds. So I'm going to run the shot now. I'm going to measure the time. I mean, the machine gives you the time on the screen anyway. And I want to look at the time, and if it's around 20 to 25 to 30, I'm happy. If it's less than 20, I'll be upset and I'll make this coffee again. Because ideally, in a perfect world, you want your coffee to brew in around 25 seconds. Especially for the single shot. Turn the scale on again. If you like to add sugar, flavors, hazelnut, sweetener, do them now before you grind, before you brew the coffee, just to help everything mix nicely towards the bottom of your cup. Which I'll do now. I'll do it right now. So I've got some sugar. The hot water tap works fine. I like to use it for getting that bit of water at the bottom of my cup. This water, I mix it with the sugar, and it helps everything mix nicely. Obviously, you can also use the hot water tap for long black coffees if you like that, and to like brew a tea bag if someone in your party doesn't like to drink coffee. Reset everything. Cool. Reset again. Alright, I've reset the machine to factory settings, which for the single shot it should give us 25 seconds. Now there's a bit of an option here that you can do. The machine usually from factory brews the coffee by time. So you press the button and it gives you 25 seconds of coffee. Oh, 25 seconds of brewing time. You can also opt to change the settings internally, and instead of brewing by time, you can brew by volume. So instead of the machine aiming for a 25-second mark, it could aim for a 40 milliliter mark in terms of the water flow or the water volume given to you. Now, I wouldn't recommend this because it gets a little bit more complicated. For the beginner, I would. For a beginner who doesn't want to learn about timing and grind size and everything, and you just want to press a button that gives you consistent volume of coffee, I would use the volumetric dosing by milliliters. But for most people, I think the time is probably better. It's a bit more consistent than the volume, and you can control the flow and the speed by the grind size. So for example, I'll make a coffee at grind size 25. Let's assume it's too slow, okay? Let's assume it's too slow and it doesn't give us the full 20 milliliter dose that we were hoping for in the 25-second brew time. In that case, if it's too slow, I can speed it up by increasing the grind size a little bit. So if going from 25 to 28 will speed up my shot by a noticeable amount, and then I can try that again. If my shot is too fast at the grind size 25, then I can slow it down by reducing the grind size. So what would that look like? So let's say 25 is too fast. Let's say if it's too fast at grind size 25, I would brew for 25 seconds, and at the 25-second mark, I've got like 50 mils of coffee. That's way too much coffee for a single shot. We don't want that much coffee, so we can reduce the grind size to slow it down. Basically, in simple terms, the machine will always give you 25 seconds, so you can ignore that. It will always give you 30 or 25 seconds based on the button you press. So that's not a variable, you can ignore that. You've got two variables. You've got the volume that changes and the grind size that affects the space between the burrs and the coffee particle size, basically. A smaller grind size will slow down the shot. A larger grind size will speed up the shot. And then, in simple terms, you can think of the grind size as if it's the brew amount, right? Because when you increase this grind size, you'll get more coffee. when you reduce this grind size, you'll get less coffee. That's the simplest way I can explain it. So yeah, let's let's have a look and see what we get. Like I said, I was aiming for about 20 to 30 mils of coffee in the single shot brew time. It gets more complicated if we talk about volumetric dosing, so I'm not going to do that. It started to flow around the 9-second mark, which is good. It's coming out like a slow flow, syrupy. It looks good. It may be the perfect shot. Let's give it a try and see what we get. I think that's not too bad. It looked good, but it may be too slow. I'm not sure. Honestly, it's usable. So we got 19 grams. We were aiming for 20 to 30. 19 is fine. What I would do, if I had more time, or if you wanted everything to be perfect, use grind size 26 or even 27. So you would use grind size 26, and hopefully it would speed up the shot. In fact, I'm happy to do another shot. In the meantime, I'm just going to get some more coffee out of this. Not recommended to brew it twice, but you can if you have to. Just want to get more caffeine out of my coffee because I only drink 1 coffee a day. And now it's up to 25 mils. So this is what 25 mils would look like if you don't have a scale. Totally fine, you don't have to have a scale to make coffee on this machine. After all, it is an automatic machine. So it's supposed to be easy and hassle-free. And it is. Once you get everything set up, it is very easy to use. I will quickly double check everything for you. So I'll test the machine again with the grind size 26, and hopefully it runs similar or a bit quicker. Just folds off, give it a quick clean. I'm wondering, should I do 26 or grind size 27? I mean, once you get close to the perfect grind size, small adjustments can make a huge difference. So what I'll do is I'll try grind size 26, okay? Just so we can see the stepwise effects of the grind size. If we jump too large of a jump, then we'll waste time. You know, if we jump all the way to 30 and we make coffee, I know a coffee at grind size 30 will be too runny, it'll be too quick, because it's a very large jump in the grind size. Remember the rule I gave before? Once you change the grind size, I want you to grind for 2 more seconds to get rid of the old grind size, okay? Okay, get rid of that. I know it feels a little bit wasteful. Okay. Just for curiosity, I'm going to measure again, just to show you that it's quite consistent. Pretty good. Very similar result. I will take a photo of that and show you. And then you weigh it, and it's 9.3, so a bit less coffee because we increased the grind size. Put this out of the way. Lock it in the middle. You know, just for science, I'm happy to drink double shot today. That's fine. For science. Reset the scale, and then let's brew it again at the single shot. Let's observe what happens. Grind size 26, single shot. Similar result, it started brewing around the 9-second mark. But have a look, it's a very nice flow. Let me take a photo. Yeah, that's a very nice result. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm happy that we ran it again. I think this is going to be around 25 to 30 mils. A bit more. This is 21. So look, I'll leave it there. I think it's actually running at a perfect 2-to-1 ratio. It's a bit quicker than before. It still looks good. It smells really good as well. So I'll leave it there. Now that you have you've got the tools on how to make good coffee. You know that if it's running too slow, you want to increase the grind size. If it's running too quick, you want to reduce the grind size. At grind size 26 with the LD dark beans, it's making really good coffee. If you want, go up to grind size 27 or 28 and try it again. If you want, you can even send me a video of your coffee at this at grind size 26 or 27, and I'll let you know if it looks like it's the right shot, if it's too slow or too quick. If you use a transparent cup, it helps out a lot. So I'll leave it there. I think it's running perfectly. I'll also do the minor service, like I said before. It just needs some of the seals changed and maybe some of the steam boiler sensors, because it's quite old now and we don't want it to have issues and leaks and steam, rust from steam and things like that. Actually, look at my previous video. I had the exact same machine, almost exactly the same age as well, serviced, and it was very clean because it was serviced regularly. And that machine made double the amount of coffee as this one. And I've got another machine who is only 4 or 5 years old, but it was really rusted inside because they made a lot of coffees without servicing the insides. Let's quickly make some steamed milk. I'll be using the automatic setting, using full cream milk. So it's straight from the fridge. Better to use cold milk as it will give you more time to texture the milk and give it some foam. So fill it just below the spout line. It's good. Then you want to just give it a purge and give it a try. I'm going to use the default settings, 60 degrees and middle froth level, so about number 5 or number 4 froth level. In the meantime, you can actually do some cleaning. That's the beauty of a dual boiler machine, is that you can do two things at once. You can do the coffee and the steam at the same time. You can do the steam and the cleaning at the same time. And it's very handy. And so if you want to be extra nice to your machine, grab a tissue, and after flushing, you want to wipe the grip head. There's a little bit of residual coffee up there. Even after you do the cleaning and the flushing, there's a little bit of residual coffee that stays. And then after this, I'll be doing the cleaning cycle anyway, as I service your machine. So we'll leave it there. Cool. Let's pour the milk. Grab a wet towel. I think you guys don't make a lot of milk-based drinks. How to look at the settings, and it's only steamed about 80 drinks, maybe 100 drinks out of the 900 or so shots that you've made on the machine. Only 90 times you've used the steam wand. So I guess you guys are more of a black coffee sort of family. When you push it down, it automatically cleans itself, obviously. And then after that, I just like to give it one more wipe. I like to wipe the base down here to keep it nice and clean. Otherwise it might get rusted and stained with milk over time. So just keep it nice and dry. Okay. Mix up the crema. Actually, it helps a lot when you mix up the coffee because some flavors are very concentrated up above the coffee and down below at the base. So when you mix it up, it just makes everything more evenly mixed and more pleasant, I think. Could use some more foam on the settings here. It's a bit flat, but that's okay. Not my best work. I think it needs a little bit of a boost on the wand. So what I can do, I can adjust the settings a little bit to give it more frothing capability. I'm happy to do that after this video. It doesn't take too long. But it looks like a good, decent shot. Let me show you. About 1 centimeter of foam. We could have increased it more here on the setting, but I can also increase it inside the machine as well if you prefer. Otherwise, I might leave it as is if you rarely use the machine for steam, for milk-based drinks. Let me show you the final result. That's my coffee. Looking forward to having it. Machine works like new now with the good beans and adjusting the settings here. I've also done a factory reset, so now you should be able to go back to the basics. So just like I said, single shot, single basket, grind size 26, Aldi medium beans. It made a good coffee at 26, but if you want more extraction, a larger, longer coffee than what you saw in the video, increase it up to grind size 27 or 28, and it should give you really good results. The machine is beautiful, it looks beautiful, it works beautifully. I think you'll enjoy it. I'll just do the maintenance minor service shortly, and then should be ready to pick up later today. Thanks Pina for your patience, and hope you enjoy. Cheers.